Enrique. Stephanie Verdoya, also a new face for the Breakers in the starting lineup. And of course, Alyssa Nair, you see there, will be starting in goal for the Breakers.
And that back four is going to be Maddie Evans, Julie King, Cullman, and it's going to be Molly Pathman. So it is going to be up to Julie King back there to really direct her defense, see how her and Cullman work. Tom Durkin's very interested to see how the two of them work playing in the center back position today.
All right, just about ready for the opening kickoff. Again, the Breakers, of course, in the blue. Houston in the orange. You see Morgan Bryan right there in the middle, getting things going for the Dash. And the 2015 home schedule is underway for Boston here at Soldiers Field Stadium. Glad you're with us. I'm Scott Sudikoff with Maddie Sattler. Just underway. A cool night here in Boston, overcast, but don't expect any precipitation. There could be at some point. See a throw in here from Megan Klingenberg, a member of the U.S. national team coming up for the World Cup. And now bouncing all the way back to the defensive end for Houston, Bianca Henninger will settle things down.
Is your camera, is it locked? Okay, there's,
Served here to the near side, and it goes out of bounds at midfield. So the Breakers will have a throw-in. Thrown in by Evans. Chasing after, that's Rafina. And she gets tripped up. And the foul going against Houston. Rafina played all 90 minutes in the opener against Portland, had 7 corner kicks. She's definitely the go-to in terms of that category. 26 years old, from Sao Paulo, Brazil.
And right here, she's going to take this this kick. It's already an offensive opportunity for the Boston Breakers. Try and put some pressure on, see if they can get a nice lob into the central area of the box.
Here the ball with Molly Pathman, leaves it off for Pathman, who's in her second year with the Breakers. Served into the box, but out of the reach of anybody in blue, and picked up easily by Henninger. Breakers last year were 6-16-2, 5-7 at home, as both the Breakers and the Dash were at the bottom of the NWSL table a year ago. Of course, the championship won last season by FC Kansas City, knocking off Seattle 2-1 in the championship game. McCaffrey couldn't catch up to that. Henninger first on it for Houston. Now Mewis trying to keep things going for the Breakers in the offensive end. Dropped off for Rafina.
And you see Mewis is actually pushing up a lot. She's going to be playing in that offensive center mid position. We've seen her play the holding mid position, and she can do both, but she's going to be more of an attacking midi today.
Julie King steps in the way, plays it ahead for Kem Ezerike. Her second year with the Breakers, had a couple of goals last year. Nice pass ahead from McCaffrey, but she is offside.
Yeah, McCaffrey just a step offside, but great run. The two of them trying to start working together, click and see. You know, Ezerike was a great punch, 1-2 punch with Jasmine Reeves last year, so we'll see how the dynamic of her and McCaffrey work on that forward position.
McCaffrey, the number 5 overall pick in the college draft by Chicago, as that's played back for Alyssa Nair, and then traded to Boston for picks number 9 and 11, so it shows how much the Breakers valued getting Stephanie McCaffrey on the team, with the 2 picks being moved. And again, she played for Boston College. She's played on this field before against Harvard, and just across the way from our vantage point where she went to school, Buckingham, Brown, and Nichols. So she's very familiar with this entire area, and obviously very happy to be a part of the Breakers in the NWSL. It had her first professional goal in that game against Portland. Knocked away there by Verdoya, who was also a rookie, coming from Seattle University. Houston hasn't been able to get anything going offensively just yet. McCaffrey taps it for Ezerike, and they go back and forth there. McCaffrey looking to send something towards the box, and has it taken away along the end line there, kept in play. So just over 4 minutes in, neither team has had a strong offensive opportunity yet. Now served into the box and headed out. Kept alive by Rafina. Left foot towards the goal, and easy play for Henninger.
And that last offensive series, Molly Pathman's actually really pushed up. She was involved in a couple of good plays and some great overlapping plays on her part over there on the far side of the field.
Okay, Leah Ojai tracks it down in the corner. Heading into the box. The breaker hits the ground, and now it's played back for Klingenberg. Klingenberg with Verdoya checking her. Has to bump her off the ball and headed out from the 6 there. It'll stay with Houston, a throw-in coming on the near side of the field.
And Houston just trying to use some speed and catch the breakers off guard in transition there.
It'll be Klingenberg, 26-year-old from Pittsburgh. There's Morgan Bryan, #1 overall pick from Virginia. Switches fields a bit onto the far side. Ella Masser trying to settle it down. Leaves it now for Lloyd. Lloyd trying to get by Barzik. Barzik to the ground there. And that'll be a corner kick for Houston. So the first corner kick of the day goes to the dash.
Yeah, and here's a first. Houston really starting to sustain offensive pressure in this zone. So this is a great opportunity for them. Corner kicks obviously are very dangerous and a great chance for them to try and get some shots off.
Stephanie Oakes will tee it up for the dash. Curling into the middle of the box and headed out by the breaker defense. And now bouncing back near midfield where Houston trying to reset up. They run a 4-3-3 and now all the way through. McCaffrey onside has Ezerique joining the play. Leaves it for Rafina's shot and Henninger a diving stop. It punches it out of play. It'll be a corner kick for the Breakers, but a great setup. McCaffrey leaving it for Rafina, and now the corner kick chance.
Yeah, wonderful chance for the Boston Breakers. That's the transition thing. That's the transition game. McCaffrey has a lot of speed. Rafina a lot of speed too. And if you look, McCaffrey took her time, set it up, saw Rafina coming in. Great one touch for her.
Here's the corner, headed towards the top of the 6. And coming all the way back here to the near sideline, Rafina on it. Leaves it off into space for Verdoya. And it's chipped out of play by Tiffany McCarty. And we'll have a second corner kick for the Breakers.
And this is what you want to see from the Boston Breakers, being able to sustain the offensive pressure, get a lot of opportunities off.
Against Portland, the Breakers were outshot 23-9 in the 4-1 loss. Low liner trying for the header, loose at the top of the 6. Players hitting the ground, and it finds its way in the net. Breakers score, it's 1-0.
A great goal by the Boston Breakers.
Not exactly sure who got the final touch on it. The way they're celebrating, it may have been Verdoya. Maybe even Julie King, who was in there in the mix, who had her first pro goal last year.
But that's just the opportunities the corner kicks really present. And it was Julie King. It was Julie King. Great goal by her. Great for her to get involved in the offense. You know, as a defender, sometimes it's really, really nice to feel what it's like to score. And just she was in the perfect position. The Boston Breakers set that play up beautifully. And now they're looking at a 1-0 lead.
Julie King scored her first professional goal almost exactly a year ago. It was April 27th against Sky Blue. Her first and only pro goal up until today. So 1-0 Boston as King scores in the 8th minute. And there we saw the sustained pressure from the Breakers, but all set up by the initial chance, Rafina from McCaffrey.
Yeah, and just getting on the board first, that does a lot for your team as far as confidence. For the Boston Breakers, it's a lot easier. It feels a lot better playing with a lead, but they just need to keep up the pressure and, you know, just keep sustaining, keep taking advantage of these chances.
McCaffrey trying to race after that one, but Oakes was able to clear it away.
Breakers goal, scored in the 8th minute by number 8, Julie King.
Knocked back there, and
That's a Boston goal for King.
McCarty, Tiffany McCarty, able to win possession, looking for a shot at the top of the box. And it comes back out for the Breakers, Rafina. Rafina with McCaffrey. Has a lot of speed on the front end of that field for the Breakers. Christy Mewis has plenty of space here. Will play it in towards Henninger, who is making her second start of the year. 24 years old. Played 5 games last year for Houston. 77% save percentage. Ojai on it for Houston. Into the box with the right hand looking for the post. And it goes wide.
Yeah, she didn't get to turn her body around as much as I think she really wanted to, and that's why the shot just went just wide, but she got a lot of good touches off. You see her making this run, and she had the space to cut to the net. Julie King trying to cut her off, and right there you see just missing Nola Sanair, just pushing it outside, and now we have a corner kick for the Houston Dash.
Second one for Houston. You saw there on that play. Julie King just got turned the wrong direction and set up that chance for Ojai. The header goes high by Carly Lloyd. So Houston's second corner kick results in nothing so far other than a pretty good header opportunity for Lloyd.
Yeah, that ball was placed perfectly right into the box. Carly Lloyd just needs to angle her head down a little bit and it would have gone into the goal. Unfortunate for her.
Lloyd coming from Western New York in a trade back in October, had 8 goals, 5 assists for the Flash in 2014. Breakers on the board first in this game. Julie King in the 8th minute. McDonald was trying to get there. Pathman slowed her up just enough to allow Nair to clear it out of harm's way as it's back for Klingenberg. Back there on the defensive line with Stephanie Oakes.
If you like touch those functions softly.
Chipped ahead. Was off of Ezerike.
Oh, is it like stop zooming out? Okay, alright, here's what we gotta do. Alright, what you're gonna have to do, wait until I tell you.
Up the sideline, it's complete to Lloyd there, but an offside up ahead of the play.
In the back of that camera.
So in the 12th minute, 1-0 Boston. Julie King the goal. Plenty of ways to follow along with Breakers action on Twitter this year. You can, plenty of hashtags to use, but you can use hashtag Breakers TV if you want to talk to us. Any comments, questions about the broadcast? There's Maddie Evans on the sideline there. Into traffic, picked up by Morgan Bryan. The official quote-unquote Go Breakers hashtag is hashtag Fear the Wave. And also something new for this year, we're letting our Twitter followers vote for the player of the game, sponsored by Steward Healthcare. Use the hashtag StewardMVP. There you see it on your screen. Up until the 85th minute, we'll count up your votes for your player of the game vote, and then we'll have the winner on the postgame. Right now, I have to guess Julie King is the early leader for that as Nair comes out from her line to pick it up. So the Breakers had a couple of weeks off from that opener against Portland, where Alyssa Nair made 4 saves against 8 shots on goal. 4-1 loss to Portland. Ojai on the run, and Nair again. I believe they're Houston. Ojai. See the assistant coach for the Breakers, Doc Simpson. Head coach Tom Durkin in his 2nd season for Boston. See him there at the end of the bench. And also returning, Ashley Phillips, goalkeeper coach for the Breakers, also an assistant coach at Northeastern University. That team making it to the NCAA tournament again this year, made it to the 2nd round after being CAA tournament champions. Rafina gets knocked down at the top of the box, and Houston looking to counter.
Houston's defense really starting to cut down as much time they're giving Rafina and McCaffrey with the ball, and I think that's the key, because in that goal that we saw, it was set up by McCaffrey and Rafina having a lot of time to set up their play.
Bryan has it knocked away out of play, and it was last touched by Bryan, so the Breakers quickly throw it in up the field. McCaffrey chasing after it against Klingenberg. Throw in now for Houston.
The Boston Breakers would like to acknowledge the following groups attending tonight's
Dash a
match.
tie at Sky Blue back on the 18th, 1-1. And they won the season in home opener over Washington, 2-0. So they have 3 goals on the season: McDonald, Ojai, and Lloyd. That scored 3 goals for Houston this year. McCaffrey and King on the 2 goals for Boston so far in 2015. And goal differential, obviously, for teams at the bottom of the standings, you see a pretty sizable negative advantage, but for the Breakers, it was striking. So looking to bring that back towards the mean this year and put a couple more wins on the board for sure. Just 6 wins last season. McCaffrey gathering at the edge of the box and deflects it off the leg there and will gain a corner kick. And slow to get up is Stephanie Oakes, clutching at that right knee. And Stephanie Oakes in her 2nd year with Houston. Get a look at what happened against McCaffrey here. May not have even touched Oakes there on the way through, but it looks like they will deem it a corner kick as they tend to Oakes on the field here at Soldiers Field. In the 16th minute, Julie King scoring in the 8th minute for Boston for this 1-0 lead. Looking back at the goal for the Breakers, coming off of a 2nd corner kick in the sequence, and just a loose ball. Julie King cleaning up the trash. Her 2nd professional goal, 1st of the season.
You see that big smile on her face. It feels nice to score, and for Julie King, you know, she's excited. Her second professional goal. So hats off to her. And you know, we see Oakes down. You never want to see that. So hopefully it's nothing too serious. She might have. It looked like she might have twisted it weird or something like that. But you know, it's you never want anyone to go down with an injury. Yeah.
Well, especially early in the season, and especially with all the World Cup action coming up, and players will be leaving teams, and really no team can afford any serious injuries up and down the roster, which, by the way, we've avoided, or not on purpose, but have not mentioned the injury report heading into this game. And again, see what happened to Oakes. Kat Whitehill is out for today's game for the Breakers, bruised left ribs. And also, you saw Stephanie Verdoya is playing, but she came in probable today with a right ankle sprain. On the Houston side, no Brittany Bach. And also probable Ashley Nick. Ella Masser was probable coming into the game. A couple of different injuries. As you see Oakes trying to walk off the field, and unfortunately that's not look too good if she's not able to put too much pressure on that leg. So they'll have to get her off the field here, and Houston will be able to bring in a substitute before play gets going again.
And Oakes was part of this revamped defense for the Houston Dash. She was actually, this is her 3rd start as a defender. She has never played that position before, and this that defensive pairing with her, Klingenberg, Cross, and Masser was actually a group of 4 that they were trying to work with and introduce into the season. And you can see that obviously they're not going to get that work in today.
So waiting for the corner kick here. Rafina will trigger it. At the top of the box. And coming out at the edge there, Rafina trying to play it back in.
So Carly Williams has actually come in on the defensive end. She's young.
Yep, rookie.
She's got some bright pink hair out there, so we'll be able to see her.
She was number 31 pick in the college draft this year. See the substitution. Williams in, Oakes out. As the sun starts to peek out at Soldiers Field Stadium in Boston. Breakers a 1-0 lead on a goal by Julie King. Verdoya trying to get to it for Boston. It's Klingenberg for Houston. And lets it go out of bounds. Good job shielding off Verdoya there.
Well, it was a great run by Verdoya, and great job by Christy Mewis seeing her making that run and switching fields completely, because it was just Klingenberg who was on that side of the field.
In the midfield, Rachel Axon plays it through. McDonald trying to quickly turn there with the ball and just had it knocked away. Play now to the near side, Klingenberg across midfield. And taken away from McCarty. Breakers defense not making anything easy for Houston in this first 20 minutes. Ryan chips it with the left foot into space. McCarty after it. And it gets knocked out.
And you mentioned that Breakers defense. Tom Durkin said he's really looking for his defense to really stay focused the entire game and put a lot of pressure on McCarty, Lloyd in this offense.
McCarty curls it towards Nair. Easy play for her. Nair has had to stop one strong chance for Houston. It was Kalia Ohai. Almost curled one into the far post from the left side of the field after she got by Julie King. And now King racing after it, shielding away McDonald, and Nair falls on it. Breakers after today will go right back on the road, play a couple of games. May the 2nd at Western New York, May the 9th at Chicago, before coming back for 3 straight home games and a stretch of 7 of 8 here at home. Similar to last season's schedule for the Breakers, with a lot of home games packed right in the middle of the year. And again, last year 5 and 7 at home, so 5 of the 6 wins coming here at Harvard, not necessarily on this field, but just behind us inside Harvard Stadium.
And it's great to see the Breakers embracing this new home. It's nice, it's more intimate, the fans are closer to the action, it's a better atmosphere.
McCarty taken down right there by Evans. Play continues on. And it comes to Verdoya. Leaves it off into some space for Maddie Evans. Ezerike turning back towards the middle of the field. McCarty coming from behind. Ezerike kept it away. Now with Bryan. Played it back for Verdoya. Along the sideline, Evans tiptoes there. Now McCaffrey. McCaffrey. The tricky moves and was off on the pass intended for Rafina.
Some fancy footwork by Stephanie McCaffrey right there.
Well, it's the reason why she was number 5 in the draft, and again why Boston traded number 9 and number 11 just to pick her up after Chicago drafted her. Local product from Winchester, Massachusetts. Again, played at Boston College, just like Christy Mewis, of course. In the 23rd minute, Boston 1, Houston nothing. With Maddie Sattler, I'm Scott Sudikoff. The home opener for the Breakers. Mewis settles it down, left foot. Goes wide through the 6 there. And that'll be, we have a throw-in right there in the corner for Houston, so the Breakers a chance to maybe lock them in.
Yeah, and a great chance by Christy Mewis. She realized she had the time to kind of settle the ball down. She did take a little bit of a wide shot, but it's great to get shots off. You know, you can't score goals without getting shots, so credit to her for that last offensive chance.
And again, if you want to get in contact with us here at the broadcast booth, use the hashtag BreakersTV. And also don't forget again the Steward MVP hashtag up until the 85th minute today. Voting for the player of the game, sponsored by Steward Healthcare. And that stays in. No, it goes out, so it will be a corner kick here for Houston. It'll be their 3rd opportunity. Boston's had 3 as well, and they've taken advantage and have the 1-0 lead. See Jessica McDonald, who we spotlighted in the open, 11 goals a year ago, has 1 so far this season, number 14. Coming from Portland in January in a trade.
And that play was set up by McDonald just racing down the line. You see that speed factor. That's what she really brings to the table, and that's why she's so dangerous. But Pathman did a really good job just sticking with her and not letting her get any shots off in that offensive chance. Morgan
Bryan with the corner kick. And then goes wide off the right foot of Nikki Cross. Alyssa Nair with it.
the Dash have had some great ball placement as far as where their corner kicks are landing. Just the offense hasn't been able to translate that into goal scoring.
Oh, coming up in a firing one up high.
And that's just
Christy
how quickly it can all change. That's the transition game, and that's the speed the Boston Breakers offense can do. Both teams have that kind of as their weapon as far as being able to use speed and transition to get offensive opportunities and shots off.
Another look there. Right at the top of the 18, Mewis firing it high. Mewis last season had 3 goals, 2 assists. In terms of returning players, Mewis is the points leader. Katie Shepfer, who starts the game, or actually not available. No, she is available today, but starts the game on the bench. Had 4 goals a year ago. Maddie Evans. Carly Lloyd. And now Bryan. Near side, Klingenberg. The left foot into the box. McDonald taps it. It goes off the post. And I believe she was offside, though, so wipe that away. But quite the opportunity for Houston.
Yeah, you want to know, I was wondering really how she got that wide open in the middle of the box, but I guess she was definitely a step ahead. If you can see right there of Coleman, just a step, and lucky break, I guess, for the Breakers.
So it stays 1-0 Boston in the 27th minute. Here's Kem Ezerike. Had a couple of goals last season for the Breakers. Mentioned that she was kind of jumped onto the scene mid-year with Jasmine Reeves at the top of the offense. Jasmine Reeves scored 7 goals in her time with the Breakers as a rookie. And then in the offseason electing to retire from professional play. Houston, after today, will play 2 consecutive home games. May the 2nd against FC Kansas City, and then May the 15th with Chicago. Again, they're already 1-0-1 on the year. Breakers 0-1-0. There's Carly Williams, who came in for the injured Stephanie Oakes earlier in this first half. Kallman going after it for Boston. And trying to shield off Masser. And it'll go to Boston here, a goal kick. Ella Masser mentioned she was probable in this lineup today, and you see on her left hand, I don't see it right now, but on her left hand, Ella Masser has a pretty good size wrap where she has an injured hand. But also, a couple of weeks ago, according to Houston's notes, breaking her nose for the 5th time in her career, which is not a number you like to keep track of, as McCarty right there with Nair, and Nair knocked it away, and then able to gobble it up, the loose ball. So just like that, opportunities can develop, and Nair able to close the door.
Yeah, you know, and as a goalie, she was really able to get big and not and block that shot right there. Great job on her part, and great job, you know, for her. She's been playing with a lot of confidence lately. She, you know,
well, 106 saves last year to lead the entire league. I mean, she faced obviously so many shots last year. You know, unfortunately did give up a lot of goals, but you know, she did all she could last season. Had 3 shutouts in 24 games, and again 106 saves to lead the league.
Yeah, and she's one of the
partly the reason why she's now part of the World Cup roster for the U.S. national team.
She's been a weapon for the Breakers, and it'll be hard for them to lose her, but, you know, good for her getting that opportunity to play with the national team and head to Canada this summer for the World Cup.
Corner kick. Rafina on the far side.
the title sponsor of your Boston Breakers.
And King, well, not exactly what she intended to do there with the foot, but Breakers able to stay with it. Rafina will serve it back in, but it will go well wide. And I think she's calling for a deflection there. But it'll be goal kick for Bianca Henninger. Her one game so far this year had a couple of saves in the opener against Washington back on April 10th. In the 30th minute, with the Breakers leading 1-0 on a goal by Julie King in the 8th minute. It'll be a Houston throw-in on the far side. Two teams played 3 times a year ago, and Houston winning 2 of them. One here, and one back in Houston. Breakers won the final matchup. It was the final game of the season, August 17th, a 1-0 win for Boston over Houston in 2014. Rafina plays it off into space herself. Rafina with that speed to Ezerike, gets it by Henninger, 2-0 Breakers.
And that's just, a picture-perfect goal. Rafina using her speed to get past the defense. And Ezerike, just the one touch, that's all you really need. And those two, it's as the season continues, those two and McCaffrey are going to look to see how they work together. But just Rafina explodes down the sideline.
I called it wrong. My apologies.
That's McCaffrey.
McCaffrey. Well, I'm getting mixed up with all the speed, but have it on both sides of the field. Give the assist to McCaffrey. The goal does go to Ezerike. Either way, though, whether it's Rafina or McCaffrey, it's McCaffrey, but fantastic play, fantastic speed.
Yeah, and we've mentioned it already several times today. McCaffrey, new, young, exciting player to watch this season.
Back on it. That's Rafina this time, number 10, I promise. Now Ezerike. And it gets knocked out. Corner kick for the Breakers, so now trying to keep the pressure on. And see, Ezerike scored 2 goals a year ago in her rookie season out of Michigan. A Canadian national team player. Has made 3 appearances total for the Canadian women's national team. Rafina with the corner. And the header goes high and wide. So for McCaffrey, her second point, had a goal against Portland and now the assist today.
Breakers goal! Scored in the 31st minute by number 22, Cam Ezerike. Assisted by number 9, Stephanie McCaffrey. That's a Breakers goal for Ezerike. Assisted by McCaffrey.
Carly Lloyd.
31st minute.
Playing it towards the box. King pops it up in the air. And now back for Axon. Axon with Rafina going after. Axon was hitting the ground first, and then Rafina toppled over her. Off to the races again. McCaffrey has Ezerike entering the box. McCaffrey going 1v1. Bringing it towards the top. Plays it off for Doya. Now Rafina sends it wide of the net. Rafina joining the play, though, after she was down on the ground on the opposite end. Look back at this goal. See McCaffrey putting it up into space and then feeding it right through to Ezerike. And as you said, Maddie, just a one touch with the left foot, all that was needed for Cam Ezerike. Henninger did all she could too, diving along the ground for it.
Yeah, and Nikki Cross is trying to go down and match the speed of McCaffrey, but she just wasn't able to. McCaffrey got around her, and then Ezerike, smart for her to, matching the speed of McCaffrey, getting to the middle of the box and getting herself open for that nice one time. That was a beautiful goal.
Jessica McDonald's been bottled up for the most part here tonight. Carly Lloyd now with it. Trying to serve to the opposite side. It finds Ojai in the corner. Ojai cross and a header is in. And Houston's on the board. And just as I said, McDonald's been bottled up. She heads it in from Ojai, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, McDonald, I think, just kind of snuck past the defense, and she was there for that header. But you know, one thing, she is 6 foot
Exactly.
6 feet tall, so that head is a dangerous weapon on her part, and she was our player to watch for the game. Great cross too.
Yeah, you see Ojai just a quick touch from left to right and just got Evans going the wrong way, and it opened it up. So Houston gets on the board, cuts the deficit in half. Now 2-1 Breakers.
And then that's just, you know, just a little mistake by Boston, costing them defensively. You can't let McDonald make that run to the far post.
35 minutes in.
Houston goal scored in the 35th minute by number 14, Jessica McDonald.
35th minute goal by McDonald. Her second of the season now. 2014 Golden Boot winner in the NWSL. Scored 11 goals. Had an assist with Portland a year ago. Ojai, who set it up. And it'll be a corner kick here for Houston.
So for Houston now, they're just trying to sustain this pressure.
Just as we saw the Breakers do. Alyssa Nair waiting on her line right now.
Well, they say a 2-goal lead is one of the most dangerous leads because it can so quickly be evaporated. So Boston looking to keep this 1-goal lead they have right now.
Punched away by Nair, comes down to Lloyd. Lloyd's shot is blocked away by Kallman. Kallman trying to clear it back out again. It's staying in the area though for Houston. Served in. Bryan can't settle it. Now McCarty looking to fight through some blue jerseys. Got tripped up by the ball, it looked like, and then Klingenberg steps up. Plays it off wide. Bryan going one-on-one against Evans. And Evans and Bryan get tangled up. And the foul going against Morgan Bryan.
Maddie Evans, she's been putting in a lot of effort. Here you see the cross and the goal, but Maddie Evans taking over in that right back position. She's really had to learn the position and learn really how to work back there and how to really be a defender and focus on that. So that's something that Coach Tom Durkin said that he's really looking for her to try and step up and really learn the role that she is, her new role, I guess, on this team.
In her third year with the Breakers, third professional year, played 28 games entering the season, 29 games now. As a pro, 24-year-old, just turned 24 5 days ago, Maddie Evans, out of Penn State University. Morgan Bryan, the #1 pick out of the University of Virginia. Two-time back-to-back Mac Hermann Trophy winner. Houston also, of course, Kaylee Ojai was a semifinalist for that award back in 2013. Ojai played at North Carolina. In the 38th minute, 2-1 now. Boston led 2-0. Goals by Julie King and Kim Ezerike. But in the 35th minute, Jessica McDonald got on the board for Houston off a beautiful cross by Kaylee Ojai. And now Houston looking to keep the pressure on. Open is Ojai. Now with a right-footed shot, looking for the top right corner, sails it high.
Ojai had a lot of time there, turn, and you know, kind of just needed to get her body down a little bit more over the ball, and that would have been upper right corner. But you know, she was wide open in the box right there, and just over the net.
I would like to have that one back.
Yeah, she did have the time. She had the open shot, so she did the right thing there. She just needed a little bit better of a strike.
Ojai had 4 goals in 23 games a year ago for Houston. Had a goal back in the opener against Washington. She's just 23. Klingenberg looking to go for Ojai. She does. King racing after her. Ojai looking for some space for a cross. King doing a good job staying with her, not giving any space, and then when she turns her back, a little bit of contact to knock the ball free. Ezerike trying to get away from Carly Williams, who entered as the lone sub so far for Stephanie Oakes, who left with an apparent knee injury or leg injury early in this half. Tiffany McCarty. Coleman on her. Off into space. Morgan Bryan there. Bryan at the edge of the box. Lloyd, and knocked away by Verdoya. Mewis looks to counter, but the ball was out too far in front of her there. And now bouncing in the box, but McDonald is offside. One of two games in the NWSL tonight. Sky Blue hosting Washington. That's kicking off in about 15 minutes. Last night, Chicago led Portland 2-0. You see McDonald offside on that last play. Chicago led Portland 2-0 before Portland came back, forced the tie, stealing a point away. On Thursday, Kansas City shut out Seattle 1-0. So in the early standings, you have Portland at the top as Nair plays that one. 2-0-1 the record. They have both Chicago, Houston, also Sky Blue at 1-0-1. Obviously very early. Two teams looking for the first points, Boston and Western New York. Ball will be put back into play here at midfield. Tom Durkin kicking the ball back into play.
Just showing off his skills a little bit.
For Maddie Evans to go retrieve and now throw in. As Enrique with position on Klingenberg. Oh, high from behind though, knocked it away. Stepping up Verdoya. As Enrique. McCaffrey looking to turn. Lloyd coming back for Verdoya now. I might be a bit biased, but I do like the colors as they mesh on the field between these two teams, the blue and the orange. Looks pretty sharp, easy to keep track of as well. And now Bianca Henninger will settle it down for the dash. In the 42nd minute, Breakers scored the first 2 goals of the day. Jessica McDonald, though, scoring in the 35th minute for Houston to pull the dash within 1. And sort of evened out the play in the last 5-10 minutes or so, getting more offensive pressure. Bryan. One touch towards McDonald. And she had a little bit of space between 2 breakers there, but the pass couldn't find her. Again, be sure to get in your Twitter votes for the MVP of the game using the hashtag StewardMVP. Player of the game this year sponsored by Steward Healthcare, the title sponsor of the Breakers, as Nair has to come diving out with Ojai bearing down on the ball.
Yeah, both these teams kind of had slowed down the game of play a little bit, and so Houston trying to catch Boston Breakers flat-footed there. That was a great chance and great job by Alyssa Nair seeing that set up and coming out, knowing she was the one that was going to have to make that save.
Maddie Evans back. Will use Nair. McDonald going right after. And that'll be deflected. Staying in. Klingenberg. And a bad pass. McCaffrey trying to get by. Gets knocked down by Cross. Looking for a card. He had a 2-on-2 developing. It'll be a yellow card on Nikki Cross. And now the Breakers will be set up right in a good position on the field.
Yeah, had McCaffrey not gotten tripped, she really had made the touch and had the speed, really. You see here, she has the touch, and she would have been able to make that run around Cross.
Maybe not the worst play by Cross.
Maybe not the worst play.
Take that chance.
Yeah.
And not allow a 2-on-1 to develop if she gets by her, knowing the speed of the player in front of her. Rafina. It's headed out, and Bryan on it for Houston. Rafina fighting for it along the ground there. It looked like maybe her arm or hand got a piece of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. A yellow card caution has been issued by the referee to Houston's number 19.
In the 45th minute here,
The 44th minute.
should have a couple of minutes of stoppage time, especially due to the injury time for Stephanie Oakes. And also 3 goals on the board adds to that as well. It's been an exciting first half here in Boston with good offense on both sides. We've seen both goalies make some big saves as well. Carly Lloyd feeds it in front, and it's tipped away. Kept in, and Nair diving, and makes a great save at the post.
Yeah, Carly Lloyd trying to get the touch, and it looked like McDonald was right in there. But great job by Coleman making that initial tip it in, and then Brian with the shot. Alyssa Nair just seeing that one all the way through and coming up with a save.
2 minutes of stoppage time in this first half. Breakers goals by Julie King in the 8th minute. Kim Izarike as well. And in the 35th minute, Jessica McDonald for Houston. Two teams that finished at the bottom of the standings in 2014, but revamped across the roster and looking to move their way up the table and potentially into that top 4. And once you get to the playoffs, anything can happen. We saw the top 2 teams and last year did make it to the championship, Seattle and Kansas City. Kansas City winning on the road against Seattle to win the championship. Portland and Washington rounded out the top 4 in 2014, year number 3 this year for the NWSL. See the speed again. McCaffrey gets by Henninger, kept it in somehow, plays it back for Ezerike, and I think she did step out.
See, Boston.
Exciting play though.
I know, the Breakers trying to get some energy, something going, see if they can get a goal on the board last second, and you see McCaffrey with the move. I think the ball did just slip out of bounds, and she maybe wish she hadn't have taken that last touch on it.
So definitely winding down here. Had 2 minutes of stoppage time, and Breakers playing without Kat Whitehill today. Injured ribs. And the whistle sounds, and that will wrap up the first half of play. Kim Ezerike scored the 2nd goal of this first half for Boston. Julie King got the Breakers on the board first in the 8th minute, but Houston able to strike in the 35th minute. Jessica McDonald, and that is your score at halftime. Boston 2, Houston 1, the home opener for the Breakers. We'll take a break and be back with more here in Boston.
Breakers fans, it is now time for the Week on Soccer Center Spot Challenge. Participants each have a numbered ball. One by one, each player will attempt to get their soccer ball as close to the center spot as possible. The closest ball will win a $25 gift card for Week on Soccer. Please welcome members from the Brookline Soccer Club. Fans, let's hear it and let's cheer them on as they attempt the Week on Soccer Center Spot Challenge. And it looks like we have a winner. Fans, let's hear it for the winner of our We Got Soccer Center Spot Challenge. Raffle ticket holders, get your tickets ready and wait for the winning numbers. And here are our winners for the movie tickets. Raffle ticket number 585023. That's 585023. For Laser Quest, ticket number 585030. That's ticket number 585030. For Mid Golf, ticket number 585046. That's ticket number 585046. For Monster Golf, ticket number 585033. That's ticket number 585033. And for the Breakers jersey, ticket number 585003. Once again, for the Breakers jersey, that's 585003. Thank you to the students of Mount Ida College for hosting this raffle, with all proceeds being donated to the Project Smile Foundation. If you have won a prize for our raffle, please go to Gate D to claim your prize. St. Elizabeth's Medical Center is making the community better with award-winning care. They are ranked in the top 10% of all hospitals in the nation for excellence in overall surgical care for 2015 by CareCheck. St. Elizabeth's Medical Center is proud to be the official hospital of your Boston Breakers. Fans, visit NWSLsoccer.com for all your updated league information, team standings, and more. NWSLsoccer.com provides fans with the latest news, scores, and information on all your favorite players and clubs. Visit NWSLsoccer.com today. Is your company concerned about the cost and regulations surrounding your medical insurance and 401k plan? Contact the CIP Group, a proud partner of the Boston Breakers, and let their team of advisors help you navigate the regulatory environment and maximize your employee benefit dollars. Visit www.askcip.com. Fans, be sure to follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter or visit NikeSoccer.com for all the latest news and information on Nike Soccer products. A small incision makes a huge difference. At Stewart Center for Advanced Cardiac Surgery at St. Elizabeth's, their team of expert surgeons offers the broadest array of conventional and minimally invasive cardiac surgery options. Visit stewart.org/cardiac or call 617-789-2045. Stewart Health, the title sponsor of your Boston Breakers. The University Sports Complex, a partner of the Boston Breakers, is the largest sports facility in all of New England. Visit www.theuhanover.com for more information. Attention Breakers fans, Workout World is proud to be partners with your Boston Breakers. Come experience why Workout World is New England's favorite health club. WOW offers more, like free babysitting, free Group X classes, free tanning, and you can even bring a friend for free. Plans start as low as $10 a month with no commitment. To learn more, visit them at wownewengland.com. Cat Sports Performance Center is the official performance training provider of your Boston Breakers. Visit catsports.com for location information or to set up a free trial training session. Cats is where the athletes and the Breakers train. TCG is a proud sponsor and the official IT services provider of your Boston Breakers. As a leading New England IT services provider and an active member of the community, TCG is very happy to support the Breakers each year. Check them out at www.tcgns.com or call 866-TCG-NETW for outstanding service and support. Fans, look sharp and support your club by wearing the latest jersey, shirts, and other attire. Visit nwslshop.com. Hey Breakers fans, tickets are now on sale for every home game this season. Visit www.bostonbreakerssoccer.com and details on our packages and theme nights. Once again, fans, if you have won a raffle prize, please go to Gate D to claim your prize. Week on Soccer is proud to partner with the Breakers for their 2015 campaign.
The NWSL is proudly sponsored by Nike, by Coppertone, and by Mango. Boston Breakers Soccer is brought to you by Stewart Healthcare, the exclusive title sponsor of the Boston Breakers. Workout World New England, the official sleeve sponsor of the Breakers. Cat Sports Performance Center, the official performance training provider of the Breakers. CIP Insurance, visit www.askcip.com. TCG Network Services, a proud partner and the official IT services provider of the Boston Breakers. We Got Soccer. We Got Soccer is proud to partner with the Boston Breakers for the 2015 season. Welcome back to Soldiers Field Stadium in Boston, where the Breakers lead the Dash at halftime 2-1. Alongside Maddie Sattler, I'm Scott Sudikoff, the home opener for the Breakers at their new stadium here at Harvard, next to Harvard Stadium, the old stadium. And by this point, you get the point. We're on the campus of Harvard in Soldiers Field Stadium in Boston. The Breakers getting the first 2 goals of the game. Breakers coming out firing in this home opener. First goal coming off a bit of a scrum off a corner kick. Julie King turns in her second professional goal of her career and first of this season to put Boston on top 1-0. And then Stephanie McCaffrey setting up this second goal using her speed. Going right by Nikki Cross, and then a one-touch by Kem Ezerike. Made it 2-0 Boston at that point. Houston, though, was able to get on the board. Kalia Ohai with this cross, and Jessica McDonald, the header by Alyssa Nair, her second goal of the year. So Houston able to get on the board in the 35th minute to make it 2-1 as we head towards the second half. And looking at the first half stats, Boston outshot Houston 11-6. 3 saves made by Bianca Henninger in goal for Houston, 2 for Alyssa Nair. Corner kicks were just about even, 5-4 in favor of Boston. Fouls were 3 against Houston, 2 against the Breakers in the first half of play. As we look towards the second half here, I want to give a quick injury update on Stephanie Oakes, as she is out of the game after leaving in the first half. A right knee contusion for Stephanie Oakes in the first half of play. She was replaced by Carly Williams on the defense, back on defense for, or back in the lineup for the Dash. So just about ready to begin the second half here in Boston with Maddie Sadler. I'm Scott Sudikoff, and be sure to check in on Twitter. Use the hashtag BreakersTV, and any questions or comments, or you can also let us know where you're watching from, or if you want to say hi to anybody. I want to say hello to Danielle Brennan, who's watching the game right now in Dublin City, Ireland. She wants to say hello to Stephanie Roach, who hails from Ireland. So if you want to check in, let us know where you're watching from. It's always nice to, or interesting and nice to hear from people wherever they're listening from in the entire world to this broadcast of NWSL Soccer, the Breakers and Houston. We're looking to see on the field if any other substitutions have been made. It does not appear so, as the Breakers a little bit late to get back on the field here, as the time is set for 45, or at 45, and ready to count up into the second half of play.
Yeah, and for the Breakers, they really kind of want to get back and get out there and start pressuring like they were for spurts in that first half. Both of those goals coming off of sustained offensive pressure. Look for Stephanie McCaffrey and Rafina and Ezerike to just continue making those runs, because the Houston Dash defense hasn't been able to stop it at all so far in the game. So unless the Dash make any changes defensively, that has continued to work. So I'm sure the Breakers are going to continue to exploit that as long as they can.
Boston in the blue will begin with the ball in the second half of play. You see Ezerike and McCaffrey there. They hooked up on the second goal, Ezerike from McCaffrey. And we are underway, second half of play in Boston. Breakers looking for their first points of the season. 0-1 the record. Houston at 1-0-1, trying to stay out of the loss column, as that's played out of bounds by Nikki Cross. Quick throw in from Christy Mewis. Ezerike across the box, coming down to Verdoya. Verdoya switches to her left. The shot goes wide of the post. Had Henninger diving after it, so a good quick chance 30 seconds in for the Breakers.
And yeah, great chance. And Verdoya, I think if she had just one touch that shot, I know that it didn't come at her at the best angle, and she used a touch to settle it down, but Had she just one-touched it, I think she would have had a little bit more space to make the shot. But she wanted to move it onto her left foot. I think she might be a little bit more comfortable with that one. So just wide, but hey, great chance already for the Boston Breakers.
Verdoya, a rookie from Seattle University. Played 83 games there, had 51 goals and 30 assists, so she's used to putting points on the board as Nair covers that up near the post. Alyssa Nair in the first half had a couple of saves. Bianca Henninger had 3 on the other end for Houston. So no additional changes made. The only change we had back in the first half, Stephanie Oakes leaving with a right knee contusion and being replaced by Carly Williams in the Houston lineup. Ella Masser, again, you see on that left hand, has the wrap for the injury and dealing with a 5th broken nose of her career. I wonder if that's just her pro career, if that's just in general, an entire life. Happened, she took a clearance in the face from Stephanie Oakes. It'll be Breakers' possession at midfield.
I think that might have been a handball. I think Master might have accidentally grabbed it before it was out of bounds. I think there was a little confusion right there.
Morgan Bryan comes out with it, looking ahead for McDonald. A lot of contact there with Casey Coleman, who came to the Breakers from FC Kansas City, and offside is Tiffany McCarty.
Lucky for the Breakers because both Pathman and Coleman had come up to try and get that ball, and McCarty was open. Luckily, she was offsides, otherwise she just had a wide open path to the net.
Molly Pathman will have the kick here on the near side of the field. With the left foot up the sideline. McCaffrey trying to turn up the sideline. And she was shielded off there by Masser, who will throw it back in for Houston. One touch to Bryan from McDonald, and now they'll try to switch fields with it. Knocked down in the middle of the field there by Verdoya, though. Here's Amy Barzik, one of the newcomers for the Breakers, coming over from Western New York on a trade all the way back in November. Here's Mewis. Goes back for Pathman. Now McCaffrey. As Enrique drops it off for Mewis. Middle of the field, Rafina. Now going wide, Verdoya. Looking for something into the box and was tipped away, and Ojai on it for Houston. Kaylia Ojai had the assist on the goal to Jessa McDonald back in the first half for Houston. McDonald now with the ball at her feet. Marked there by Pathman. Try to get it into the box for McCarty. Knocked away initially by Coleman. And then McCarty looking to win a corner kick. Not able to do so. Goal kick here for Nair. See McCarty trying to win it there, but not able to get it off of Coleman.
And great job by Coleman, kind of just taking a little bit of a step back, knowing that's what McCarty was trying to do, and not letting McCarty get that deflection.
Mewis keeps it in along the sideline, has McCaffrey off to her left, now turns it back towards the middle of the field. Barzik catching up to it there is Maddie Evans. Evans with a lot of space. Will send it into the far side of the box there from the right side of the field, and Mewis couldn't get her head on it.
It was a great idea by Maddie Evans. I think she put a little bit too much on it, and Mewis really wasn't able to head it, give it an attacking header into the goal like I think she wanted to, but great job by Maddie Evans reading that play and pushing up to just receive the pass from Barzik and have the space to make that cross.
Another look at the attempt by Mewis. Being pushed off the spot there by Ella Masser. Kick here for Masser now in the 51st minute. 2-1 was our score at halftime. Breakers led 2-0. King and Ezerique. McDonald for Houston at the 35th minute to pull the Dash within 1. King steps in front, takes it away for the Breakers. And now stepping up there. Breakers will be home again on May the 16th. They'll take on Portland in between. There'll be 2 games on the road at Western New York and Chicago. Houston goes back home for 2 after today. FC Kansas City on the 2nd of May. Chicago on May 15th. Houston won the season series with these 2 teams last year, winning 2 of the 3 matchups. Breakers winning the other.
And I asked Tom Durkin about that and the matchups last year, and he said, you know what, these are 2 completely different teams going at it today. And we've talked about it. Both these teams have a lot of new faces, especially the Breakers, a lot of new people out there.
Mewis taken down there by McDonald. Play continues on. McCaffrey on it. Dropped it off Rafina. Rafina to her left. And then kind of splitting Ezerique and Mewis there.
Yeah, I think she expected Pathman to be making that run. Pathman just a couple steps late on that.
Still a throw in for Boston, and Ezerique with it wide.
Yeah, I think she wants that one back too. She turned, didn't have a chance to really settle the ball, and got under it a little bit too much.
See Ezerique turning away from cross, and see the eye roll.
a little frustrated with that.
McCarty angling back towards the middle of the field. Houston stays on it. Bryan loops it into the box. And that was onside. And there comes out to grab it. Houston with 3 points and get that 4 points in its first 2 games. And with the victory and a tie to the Dash's credit so far this year. As that goes out, and they actually call a foul, I believe, on Ezerique. Saw her reaction there, not happy with it. So Nikki Cross will start play back up for the Dash. Good play by McDonald, angling that header ahead for Ojai. Ojai knocked it off of King, stays in the field of play. Up the sideline, and Cross goes down. Ezerique claiming she didn't do anything.
I think their legs just kind of got a little bit tangled up in that situation, but Houston getting the kick.
Cardi trying to get away there, and Evans got tangled up in the jersey.
Yeah, Boston, kind of a couple little sloppy foul calls. You don't want to get caught, pulling a jersey. You don't want to do that now. She's going to get a yellow card, a little bit frustrating. And this giving the Dash, if you look, see.
Evans was kind of falling down to the ground and grabbing the jersey of McCarty.
Exactly. You can't do that. So we'll see if Houston can take advantage of this free kick. See if Coralie Lloyd's taking it. She's got a very good touch. She's very good at these free kicks. So we'll see what happens.
Bryan and Lloyd, a better angle of what happened there, and an easy call there for the referee to make. Danielle Chesky. Bryan will just tap it for Lloyd, who has it knocked away.
Yeah, that was Amy Barzik, who was right there to knock it away from Coralie Lloyd. Just great job by her.
Throw in coming from Megan
Ladies and gentlemen,
Klickenberg.
your attention, please. A yellow card caution has been issued by
Played
the
13
referee.
games with the U.S.
The
women's
Boston
national
number
team
18,
and
Maddie
be with
Evans,
them
in the 55th
the upcoming
minute.
training and World Cup. Ohai trying to turn into the box. Across the field, reaches Lloyd. Carly Lloyd. A left-footed shot, and it'll bounce right in there to Nair.
And one thing the World Cup really, having the World Cup this season really does is it creates a lot more buzz around the league.
As Ezerike trying to get to the loose ball there, but it's Nikki Cross instead. Kept it alive though. McCaffrey to her right, it's blocked down by Axon, and then McCaffrey bounces it right back off of her, maintaining the possession.
You know, just to finish that thought, people want to watch and see how some of these top players in the world are doing, how some of the U.S. team members, some of the international team members are doing, and this NWSL season right now is this kind of preparation for that. It's very exciting.
Katie Schepfer getting set to check in for Boston. It'll be the first Breakers substitution of the day, wearing number 88 this season. Lloyd into the box, McCarty, and it's cleared away by Pathman. Good job by Pathman to slide over as McCarty was staring a goal in the face. As Schepfer
Ladies and gentlemen, your
will
attention,
check
please.
in for
Substitution
Boston.
the Breakers in the 58th minute. Entering
She'll
the
be
match
coming
is
in
number
for
88,
Stephanie
Katie
Verdoya.
Schepfer. Leading the match is number 26, Stephanie Verdoya.
Yeah, Schepfer, just some fresh legs out there. She knows the system well. She's, you know, been on the team for several years now, so she's able to kind of come in situations like that. She's been watching the game on the whole time, so she can kind of come in, analyze it, and work with the Breaker system that's been set up for this game.
Fourth year for Schepfer with the Breakers. Had 4 goals a year ago. In 17 games, made 12 starts in 2014. In the 59th minute of play, nobody's scored yet in the second half. Breakers led 2-0 to begin the game. King and Ezerike, the goal scorers.
Breakers fans, our next
Boston.
home game will be Saturday,
Jessica McDonald, the
May 16th,
goal scorer
versus
for
the
Houston.
NWSL champion Portland Thorns. Kickoff will be at 4 p.m. You can purchase tickets online at BreakersTickets.com or by calling 617-945-1704. Tickets for this game are selling fast, so get yours today.
McCarty trying to feed it along for Lloyd. Kallman kept it away from her. Coming to the middle of the field. Now on this near side, Masser. Mewis trying to track her down in the corner. Stepping up and taking the pass is Pathman. Ezerike turns by Cross and then lost her footing, and they'll call the foul on Cross. Cross picked up a yellow card back in the first half on a play against Stephanie McCaffrey. See Ezerike against Cross. Contact seemed minimal. And Kalia Ohai is arguing that case potentially.
And I think Tom Durkin really wants a card, so I don't really know. Some conversations happening out there.
Seemed as if Ezerike really just lost her own footing on that spin, trying to get away from Cross. But Cross has been involved in some situations like that already, as it's bouncing down in the box. Mewis can't get to it. Masser with the header. Mewis now settling it in the corner. Along the line, and that goes off of Masser. Corner kick for Boston.
Great effort by Mewis, knowing she really didn't have the angle, so just trying to get that corner kick off, give her team an offensive opportunity right here, a chance. You see she takes it all the way down to the goal line, and she didn't really have a great angle to cross it, so good for her.
Corner from Rafina to the far side, and
Yeah, I am.
61 minutes in.
There'd be something weird about it.
2-1 Boston.
So, those cameras have, there's a little level on it, and if you, underneath, like, where the three lights and stuff are split out, underneath there's a normal feature.
Masser with Shepford coming after, makes the pass to Morgan Bryan. Bryan into space, McCarty with Kallman. Kallman wins it away. And now trying to use Nair. McDonald takes it from her. Nair out of position. Centering, and Lloyd can't get there. A good job getting back into the play. Mewis to make sure Lloyd didn't have an open net situation.
Well, Nair was coming out and calling for it, and I think Kallman needed to put a little bit more on that pass. McDonald right there to using that speed to take it away from her. Lucky break for the Boston Breakers right there.
And Pathman trying to clear it out of play there. And it'll be a goal kick for Listenaire, and see that play from before. McDonald trying to get it there to Lloyd, and Mewis just a step in front to make sure all Lloyd really needs to do would be a quick one touch into the goal there, and it would be 2-2. McCarty, 1-on-2. Pathman takes it away. Now Mewis. Breakers had similar situations last year where they had leads. 2-0, 2-1, and could not hang on, not even to tie, and let a lot of teams come from behind, and Houston was one of those teams. Now again, of course, much different rosters on both sides, but some of the players remain. And Henninger comes out and makes sure McCaffrey, their speed, didn't have a chance at a shot.
And McCaffrey was just a step behind there. It was very, very close play, but a bold decision paid off for Henninger.
And now Houston trying to counter. Into free space, Morgan Bryan, the diving save by Nair. Corner kick, though, coming for Houston.
Yeah, Morgan Bryan was open in the box right there. She had time to settle, turn, and get a shot off Alyssa Nair. I mean, we've talked about her all day. She's a very skilled goalie. She saw it all the way through, made a great save.
Got a good look at it, where Bryan just able to backtrack. And then see her reaction after missing the chance. Well, they're teammates with the national team now. And that header from Cross. Now Lloyd centers it, and it goes wide by McDonald. And McDonald saying it was deflected away. And won't get the call. It'll be a goal kick. Substitution coming for the Breakers here. Look at the chance for Houston. Not an easy play there for Lloyd.
And it just seems like the Boston Breakers defensively, just a little bit of miscommunication. This is the second time in a row there's just been a player open, and having that open shot, as a defense, you can't give that away. You can't give away those shots. And luckily for the Breakers, the shots have been wide. So, but as a defense, you can't let that happen.
See the change there. Suzanne Perez has come on for Boston. Rafina going out. A 2-1 game in the 66th minute. Maybe a bit of a defense for offense change there. Rafina did play all 90 minutes in the opener against Portland. Playing about 65 here today. No one has scored yet in the second half. King and Ezerique gave Boston a 2-0 lead in the first. McDonald scored for Houston in the 35th minute. And that's where we stand right now. Just a reminder, up until the 85th minute, you can vote on Twitter for the Steward Healthcare MVP of the game. Hashtag Steward MVP to vote for the player of the game in this one here today. Again, up until the 85th minute. So you got about 19 minutes left to do that. Steward, S-T-E-W-A-R-D, MVP. There it is for you on your screen. A lot easier just to see it than me rambling on about it. Goal scorers again, King and Ezerique for Boston. I didn't clarify, but I'm assuming looking for a Breakers MVP, but we'll see what happens. Right now, officially, the game winner would be Kem Ezerique. Perez with a cross from deep in the corner there. Henninger able to grab it. And McDonald is onside. Nair trying to knock it down to the line. It bounces in. Coleman couldn't get there. It counts. 2-2.
Yeah, and I think, McDonald was open on that. On that side. Oh, look at those moves. McDonald was open on that far side, and when we've talked about all game, she has that speed. If you look at her, she was already past Pathman, and I think maybe the Boston Breakers defense wanted an offsides call. They didn't get it. Alyssa Nair came out, and for McDonald, it was an easy touch.
So McDonald has both goals today for Houston, now 3 on the season. She's well on her way to probably surpassing the 11 she scored from last year with the Portland Thorns.
And that's never a kind of goal for Boston that you want to give up, it causing a goal coming off kind of a defensive lapse. And you just have to regroup and refocus. And that's what Tom Durkin said he's really looking for his team to do, is just stay focused for a full game. And that's something as a young team sometimes they have struggled with.
See the Houston substitution, Melissa Henderson, 25-year-old off the bench, in for Tiffany McCarty. As Jessica McDonald has tied the game up at 2 and then had that interesting dance routine with Rachel Axon celebrating the goal. I think obviously our cameras did catch that, so maybe throw that on a highlight reel or a gag reel. It wasn't that bad. It was pretty good. Along the end line and played out there by Master. Breakers will have a throw-in. Here it is. Still Boston, the throw-in, Molly Pathman. Second year with the Breakers out of Duke University. McCaffrey plays it in the middle of the box. Ezerique got to it, spinning, trying to get free. And then taken away. Mewis keeps it alive. A lot of bodies buzzing around the ball there.
Yeah, Ezerique not at the best angle to receive that. She had her back to the goal, and she was trying to turn around, but Houston defense was on her very quickly, not giving her a lot of time to do anything with that ball.
We'll be heading off to prepare for the Women's World Cup.
In the 70th minute, all tied up at 2. Breakers led this one 2-0. And as I mentioned, one of the bugaboos last year was leads vanishing. And that a couple more wins could have been on the board last year for the Breakers. It wouldn't have been the difference between making a playoff spot, but if we're going 6-16-2, throw a couple more extra wins in there. It's a lot better looking record. A lot better looking record than just the 6 wins on the year. Looking for the first win of this season, 0-1. Houston 1-0-1. Mewis steps in front of Masser. Left-footed cross. Ezerique can't get her head on it.
Great setup by Mewis coming to intercept that pass and try and catch Houston off their guard, and Ezerique making that run. Just the cross a little bit out of her reach.
Ojai will collect it at midfield. Had the assist on the first McDonald goal. Ojai looking for McDonald again there. Comes down to Suzanne Perez. Perez played for the Breakers reserve team last year. Had 6 goals, 5 assists in 11 games. And now up with the pro team. Reserve team playing in the WPSL. Pathman gets taken down from behind by Morgan Bryan. Pathman slow to get. Well, Pathman from Duke, Bryan from Virginia. They've seen each other before.
I think she might have got the wind knocked out of her too, because she fell and then the player kind of just landed right on her. Yeah, Bryan landed right on her back. That does not feel good.
And I mentioned they've seen each other before. A lot of these players have seen each other before at the collegiate level. Stephanie McCaffrey at BC. Saw both Pathman and Bryan, as that will find its way into the goal for a 3-2 Breakers lead.
Yeah, they're all hugging Coleman, but actually I think it knocked off a Houston Dash player into the back of the net. If we look at it here.
You are correct. Carly Lloyd got the last touch into the goal.
That's tough. That's a tough break, but you know what? That might be the energy, the momentum that Boston needs to kind of finish this one out.
Well, I mean, you saw the second Houston goal was on a bit of a mistake, Boston defensively, and now you see Houston, in essence, returning the favor a bit. But they put themselves in that situation, now turning back upfield. McCaffrey, it bounces free. Perez gets spun down. McCaffrey couldn't keep it at the top of the box, but it finds Ezerique. Mewis switches to her right foot, and then missed hitting it. Out of play there.
But you do have to give Christy Mewis some credit on that last goal. You know, she had the initial free kick, and she sent the perfect ball. That's exactly where she wanted it to go. Her team was there, and that gave Boston the best opportunity for that. And, you know, unlucky break.
We've seen some great facial expressions on both sides of the field today. On foul calls, on missed goals, on goals. Credit to our great camera crew here at Soldiers Field Stadium. First broadcast here of Boston Breakers soccer, as Morgan Marlborough will check in for the Breakers here in a moment. She came over from FC Kansas City. Just number 12 pick in last year's college draft out of Santa Clara. As Kem Ezerique checks out for Boston.
Yeah, Ezerique had a great game. Great goal so far today. She's had a couple little mistakes, but she's, you know, had a very, very solid afternoon. She should be happy with her performance.
So in the 75th minute now, Boston with a 3-2 lead. Off what I believe has gone officially as an own goal on Carly Lloyd. But again, set up on the free kick by Christy Mewis. And also the traffic in front, just creating that opportunity. And then just, unfortunately for Lloyd in Houston, just deflecting off her leg. Not much really she could do about it.
Well, it's always dangerous when the ball is bouncing around. We're that close to the goal. Whether you have possession of it or the other team, the opposing team has possession of it, it's tough.
A chance for Houston to tie it, and there comes out. Lloyd back on it there. An excellent save by Alyssa Nair, reading the play, got out to the top of the 6 and cut down any potential angle.
Yes, no listen there. Look at this. She sees it all the way through. She's got a clear vision, and there she does. She gets big, and Henderson really didn't have anywhere to go with that one.
And Melissa Henderson thought she might have the tying goal for the Dash. Houston looking to set up something here, and there, diving. That goes clear out of bounds for a goal kick for there.
Well, it was McDonald making that far post run, just a little bit too much on the cross. But McDonald did have a wide open pass. She had already gotten past her defender.
Visit stewart.org/cardiac or call 617-789-2045. Stewart Health, the title sponsor of your Boston Breakers.
Nikki Cross. It's to Bryan. It looks like Bryan's 6 on the back of her jersey is half falling off. Or it's either that or just an optical illusion to my eyes from our view here. We got a pretty good view right at midfield. Much lower than we were last year, that's for sure. Not high atop Harvard Stadium this year. McCaffrey. And the fans there on that far side of the field looking for a call there, maybe on a dangerous play. Henderson plays it off in the corner for Masser. And her cross goes out of bounds there, and it'll be a goal kick for Nair.
That was a great idea by Masser to try and make that overlapping run, because there was just one defender on this side, but I couldn't get the right touch on it to make the cross.
Masser's been out there the whole time here today. Bryan plays it along for McDonald, who got bumped off by Coleman, and now King will clear it away. King has been that steady center back for the Breakers. 17 starts a year ago. 2 years ago, 21 starts. Oh, high. Got by King there. Coleman coming over. So good job by Coleman to cover up for Ojai getting by King, but we'll have a corner here for Houston, down by a goal in the 79th minute.
And Coleman just really goes for it. Couldn't necessarily get her foot out there, so just kind of slides her whole body to try and block that one.
Stephanie Roach waiting to check in for Houston. Well, actually calling a foul here. So they did call a foul, so it's a free kick, not a corner kick. Off in the corner here. From our vantage point, Morgan Bryan just on the outside of the box. Header by McDonald and couldn't get it on goal. McCaffrey up the field, about 1-on-4. Looking to hang on to it and wait for some teammates to join the play. And here comes the substitution. Roach will come on. She's played in 35 games for the Republic of Ireland. 25 years old, from Dublin. And it looks like she's coming in for Carly Williams, who had come on in the first half for the injured Stephanie Oakes. And again, for Oakes, a right knee contusion in the first half of play. So Roach on now.
And it looks like Roach might be playing up a little bit more than Williams was, as more as kind of in the holding midfield area as opposed to a defender. Houston may be looking to put a little bit of more bodies on offense.
An own goal has given the Breakers a 3-2 lead. After the dash had tied it on Jessica McDonald's second goal of the game. It was 2-1 Boston at halftime, led 2-0 to begin the game. Breakers in the home opener, second game of the year. Houston playing its third game of 2015. 1-0-1 are the Dash. Check them out at www.tcgns.com or call 866
outstanding service and support.
Maddie Evans waiting here.
You know, and now you see the Breakers are going to really start to try and slow things down, take their time, try and run the clock in certain situations when they can. You know, as it's ticking down, they obviously want to come away with the win, and they're in a pretty good position too. They just need to hold out.
Evans will throw it in. Henninger will look to spring the Houston offense here.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's
I think they're going to call a foul on Maddie Evans for taking down Carly Lloyd right there.
of your Boston Breakers.
Lloyd a little bit slow to get up. $2,376 on hand here for the first game of the Breakers season. First game at Soldiers Field Stadium. And looking to hang on to the lead for the home fans here today. And now Alyssa Nair will have a goal kick. You might be able to hear goalkeeper coach Ashley Phillips with some directions for the team. Remember, she played 11 games for the Breakers back in 2013 before then taking over as the goalie coach last year. And also serves as an assistant at Northeastern University here in Boston since 2010. Stephanie McCaffrey. Master there defensively. And McCaffrey lost it as Lloyd comes over to take away possession. Lloyd has some space in front of her. On the far side, Roach. Two blue defenders coming after her. King keeps it in along the sideline. Morgan Bryan battling there, and see Katie Schepfer slow to get up. Not sure exactly what happened to her. Seems to be coughing a bit. Maybe he got a little shot in the gut. Let's see. No.
I think she might have gotten elbowed or
like a little backswing into the throat area, unintentionally, but
that doesn't feel good either.
no. Nikki Cross will use Henninger. 85th minute. Things have kind of settled down here, quieted down in terms of offensive chances, which you would expect. Boston really now just trying to protect the lead. Houston will need to push the envelope at some point in the next couple of minutes. And racing after Marlborough, able to win it away from Henninger, but couldn't keep it in.
Great job. Great showcase of speed right there. I think Henninger's heart might have stopped for a second when Marlborough beat her to it, but unfortunately for her, you know, just a little bit too much on it.
Nair will back up, waste as much time as she can, and then pick it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Boston's third goal has been credited as a Houston-owned goal.
Pathman knocks it out, not letting Ojai getting any speed upfield. So now down into crunch time, as they call it, in the 86th minute. Houston down by a goal, 3-2, trying to stay unbeaten on the year. 1-1 the record. A win over Washington, a tie with Sky Blue. Breakers losing their only game so far this year at Portland, 4-1 a couple of weeks ago. A lot of time to stew over that. McCaffrey trying to put some pressure on Klingenberg, who puts it upfield. Bryan, Mewis. And Mewis able to get around Bryan and knock it free, but Houston back on it. Lloyd. And then King takes it from McDonald. Some contact, but play continues on. Lloyd now working on the far side. And there's a handful of jersey again. It looked like Matty Evans, who complaining. And it looks like Lloyd is politicking for a yellow card on Evans, who already had one earlier this game.
Yeah, I just think a lot going on, a lot of people kind of just crashing into each other.
Attention Breakers fans, Workout World is proud to be partners with your very own Boston Breakers. Wow,
there's another jersey tug, so that's...
I mean, I guess Evans' only argument could be is that Lloyd, just initiated all the contact, knocked her over, and kind of her hand just, reaching out, catches a bit of jersey.
Well, this might be one of the final chances for the Dash right here, this free kick.
It's about 25 yards away. Lloyd chips it up over the crossbar.
She was really going for it, and I think she's a little bit frustrated with herself. Trying to loft it just out of the reach of Nair, but, just a little too high.
In the 89th minute now. It was 2-1 Boston at halftime. It's 2-1 Boston at halftime. Jessica McDonald tied it in the second half. An own goal. It's given the Breakers a 3-2 lead. And Ojai and Pathman get tangled up.
Things are starting to get a little bit physical towards the end. You maybe just a little bit of frustration, maybe some fatigue. But both teams, just kind of want to finish this out, finish it cleanly.
Masser. Played out from the box. Bounces back for Axon. And now Lloyd will be out for a Houston throw-in to the 90th minute now. It looks like there's going to be 3 minutes of stoppage time. Our fourth official hasn't put it up in the air yet, but I can see the 3 from our vantage point.
You heard it here, folks.
We'll see if I'm right, as in the box, contact. And yellow card coming on Houston. And that's Mewis, who took a hard shot. So a yellow card going there. Didn't catch exactly who it was on for Houston. As we head towards stoppage time. There it is. It was Roach with a dangerous play. Got the foot up high, and she knew it. Three minutes of stoppage time. We're into that right now. So Houston has one final charge to make.
And the Breakers have 3 minutes to hold on.
Marlborough gets it to Mewis. Mewis with the left foot goes off the back of Masser. Bouncing along there, and Perez shot, and Henninger the save at the post. Perez again. McCaffrey entering the box. Perez, though, loops it out high and wide.
Perez getting a couple good looks. You know, she had a pretty wide open spot, a wide open path, but she tried to one-touch it and, you know, didn't lean over enough to get the shot down.
Schepfer steps up. The Breakers being a bit aggressive here, not allowing Houston to build anything forward.
Well, they want to finish this strong. They want, you know, to have this momentum, finish this game with momentum and be able to carry it into the next game.
They'll play next Saturday at Western New York. Houston will play next Saturday at home against FC Kansas City. This could be the Breakers' first win and Houston's first loss of the year. Well into the 3 minutes of stoppage time now. This might be the one last chance that Houston could have if they can build it up. But then cleared away by Pathman. Marlborough again using the speed to track it down against Klingenberg. Leaves it off McCaffrey. There'll be a throw in deep in the Houston end. Masser will go along with it. Misses Roach. King got a header. And now Perez. Time winding down. Pathman. And there's the final whistle. The Breakers win their home opener, beating Houston tonight 3-2. Goals from King and Ezerique. Also an own goal from Houston. And both of Houston's goals coming from Jessica McDonald. The difference ends up being that own goal when it was 2-2 going off of Carly Lloyd into the net. And the Breakers take advantage and go to 1-1 with a 3-2 victory. So a very good debut here at Soldiers Field Soccer Stadium.
Yeah, definitely a lot to be excited about, a lot of positives to take from this game. You know, the Breakers going up 2-0, really putting the pressure on, sustaining that pressure. You know, and facing adversity when the Houston came back and tied it, going ahead and really closing things out in the very end. It's great to see. Great play today by Ezerique and McCaffrey, and the defense really held things down for the most part. So there's a lot of things to be excited about. Obviously, the players are excited. Their first win of the season, a great win in front of their home fans. And I think the Breakers are just kind of going to work on playing with a lead and closing things out, I guess. You
see Stephanie McCaffrey. She won the Twitter vote. Your hashtag Stewart MVP of the game. She had the assist on the Kem Ezerique goal, but really more importantly, though, you just see her, how important she is to the offense. She might not have a goal on the day, but she was a big reason why they come away with the 3-2 win. Yeah, she definitely has started to establish a name for herself in the league. She's an offensive threat. She's got the speed, and I think we're going to see as the season continues on, McCaffrey, Ezerique, and Rafina are going to be a very dynamic threat with that speed, being able to make those runs, and today it was very evident. And Alyssa Nair, of course, in goal, did her job very strongly as well, and helps lead the Breakers to a 3-2 win in the home opener. As we take a look back at what occurred in this game between the Breakers and the Dash. Plenty of goals on the board, of course, with the 5. This was the first goal of the game coming off a corner kick. It was the second of a sequence, and a loose ball. Julie King found it, her second professional goal, her first of the season. And how exciting was that for her? Great job, great game for Julie King. And then this second one, McCaffrey, the speed, getting it. We've talked about it all game long. She got past cross, made this perfect cross, and then Ezerique followed the speed, matched it, was in the perfect position to one-touch that one for the second goal of the game. I saw a couple other times in this game where McCaffrey tried similar plays, and one of them where Nikki Cross just took her down just to make sure nothing could happen. That was Jessica McDonald scoring in the 35th minute to make it 2-1 off the feed from Kalia Ohai. And then McDonald on this play tied it at 2 in the second half. Probably one the Breakers would love to have back. But they'll take the points from the victory either way here, the 3-2 win. And then we'll show you how the Breakers got the 3-2 lead. It was an own goal. Went off the foot of Carly Lloyd on a free kick from Mewis from, you see it there.
Yeah, and set up great by that free kick. Christy Mewis really, if we could award it to someone, I'd say Christy Mewis just setting up that play very well, putting the ball in the perfect position. And Boston held things down in the very end, and were able to really finish this one out.
Well, that'll just about wrap things up for us here at Soldiers Field Soccer Stadium. The Breakers go to 1-1 on the year, and Houston falls to 1-1-1. On behalf of my broadcast partner, Maddie Sattler, I'm Scott Sudikoff. Once again, the final score from Soldiers Field Soccer Stadium. The Breakers 3, the Dash 2. So long from Boston.